Hey, I have a great idea. Let's talk about some stupid school rules that turn you into a criminal. Welcome back to Capo TV, the channel where we know school is a joke and you don't want to be the punchline. If this is your first time here and you also think school is a joke, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. Well, this video's not original, but I feel like I have to do it. Because school is full of rules, and the more rules you have, the more criminals there are gonna be. Let's take a look at a handful of these stupid school rules. Stupid school rule number 1. You have to show up there 5 days a week, otherwise your parents get arrested. Now, this is one of those rules that is pretty outdated, but since school is such an integral part of our society, it's hard to change. In a regular public school from kindergarten to 12th grade, you have to be there 5 days a week for 7 or 8 hours a day. You know why it's a full work week? Because 100 years ago, when school was first institutionalized, it was based on a factory system because we had a factory economy. And once kids were kicked out of the factories because of child labor laws and all, they needed to be put somewhere so that they weren't roaming the streets and causing mischief. And from that, the modern school schedule was born, and now kids have to spend 40 hours a week in the factory of school getting prepared for their job in the factory out in real life. And that's stupid. School rule number 2 that is absolutely dumb to me, and you'll find this on any other list with stupid school rules. You need to ask permission to use the bathroom. When I'm substitute teaching, I always joke with the students about that rule. When a student comes up to me and says, "Mr. Cat, may I use the bathroom?" I say, "Sure, let me give you written permission to go do that." But you know what? All the rules that I'm gonna say all fall under something called in loco parentis, which means that when you're in the school is acting like your parent. So having written permission to go use the bathroom is kind of like saying getting permission from your parents to go do something. The teacher, the school needs to know where you are, what you're doing, so that you don't get in trouble or you don't get hurt or something else crazy doesn't happen. Should I make a separate video about that idea? Let me know in the comments below. Stupid rule number 3. This one's outdated. No hats allowed in school. Back in the day, from what I understand, a gentleman should never wear a hat inside. It's just not the gentleman thing to do. I've got a hood on this thing. If I go into school and put my hood on, a teacher or a principal is going to say, "Take your hood off." And you know, today, head coverings have a bad rap. Anyone that has something on their head is looked at with suspicion. They're looked at like they're up to something. But couldn't your ears just be cold? Now, it's one thing if a student puts the hood on and then puts his or her head down on the desk and just falls asleep. Then yeah, take your hood off, wake up, learn something. But if you're awake and alert and paying attention, taking notes, doing whatever you have to do in class, and you're cold and you put your hood up, I don't see why that's such a big deal. Dumb rule number 4. No food or drink allowed in class. This one, borderline. I get it. You don't want people to eat food in your class because then they tend to throw it all over the floor or it falls on the floor. They don't pick up their trash. And you don't want them to have water or drinks or anything for the same reason. They might spill it. Also, there's the little problem that people like to bring vodka or other clear alcohol into school in water bottles. I get it, that happens. But I like to think that in general, people are reasonable. And remember, kids and students, they're just young people. If something gets spilled on the floor or a crumb falls on the ground, well, that's why they have napkins, that's why they have cleaning products. Just clean it up. It's not that difficult. Dumb rule number 5. No board games or card games allowed in school. The reasoning behind this is because they don't want people to gamble in school. Last time I checked, you can gamble on anything. You don't need a board game or a card game to do it. So what's the big deal if you want to play Monopoly during lunchtime or Uno during study hall? Yeah, you can gamble on those games, but you can also gamble on how many pencils the teacher has in his or her desk. And look, from my experience, the people that are going to gamble aren't going to do it out in the open. They're going to do it with dice in the bathroom. So yeah, ban dice too, but dice are easy to put in a pocket and you can't stop that, can you? And finally, a bonus number 6 stupid rule: no cell phones allowed in school. I made an entire video about this before, but I just have to bring it up again because it's such a foolish attempt at control. The cell phone ban in a lot of schools is just a misguided attempt to make kids pay attention to things they don't really care about. If you want all my reasons why I hate the no cell phones in school rule, go watch my video about that. And does your school have any other stupid rules that I didn't mention in this video? If so, let me know about it in the comments below. And if you think school is a joke and you don't want to be the punchline, then make sure you subscribe to Capo TV before you go. As always, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.